Hey guys, today I'm working on an Acer Aspire 5 laptop. It has the classic power jack problems with the power going back and forth from battery into AC power. Got a really loose connection where you plug it in. So as you can see here, when I plug in the power cord, just kind of flopping around inside there. After the repair is done, it should have a nice snug fit and it'll kind of snap into place, and right now it just comes out really easily and the connections is very loose. And I'm getting intermittent power back and forth. So it just needs the power jack replaced. And this is one that needs to be disassembled all the way down to the motherboard. So the first step here is to remove this big bottom cover. And there's about 8 screws here that need to come off. And so now I'm just going to take my pry tool, I prefer a thin guitar pick, and just run it along the seam there of the edge of that bottom cover just to get those little edges to pop up. And you can use any pry tool you're comfortable with, but I like these guitar picks because they're nice and thin and pretty solid and do a good job. So the next step here, and the first step in any laptop I like to do, is to remove the battery. This will just stop all power from the laptop in case it were to turn on or something like that. So I remove the tape for the battery and then just detach this connection here. And the battery is not screwed in, so it just comes right off. It's got some tape on it too, but comes out pretty easily. And the next step here is I'm just removing the SSD drive. That's just one single screw, and then when you remove that screw, the drive will kind of flip up and you just pull it right out. And here I'm removing the CMOS and all the other ribbon cable connections from the motherboard, like the touchpad, the backlight, everything that's connected to the motherboard here. Just be really careful with these connections. You have to make sure if you have a flip-up connection that you flip it up, and in this keyboard, this case, these two little endpoints get pushed out a little bit, but they don't come actually all the way out. And the wireless leads can be pulled up. They just snap on top, and then the wireless card is removed so I can access a cable that's underneath. And that's a flip-up connection. I just take a little flathead, flip up that connector, and push it back down. Same thing with the I/O board here. I take my fingernail on one side and the screwdriver on the other and just flip that connection up. And then I'm detaching the fan. And here I'm detaching the LCD cable. It's another flip up, flip down lock connection. Once you flip it up, you can remove that cable. And now I'm going to remove the heatsink and fan. The heatsink is held in by 3 screws that come out, and then the fan is held in by 2 screws that will come out. And sometimes these fans and heat sinks don't necessarily need to come off, but I like to check the thermal paste and make sure I clean out the fans at the same time, which I don't do in the video, but something that I like to make sure everything's good to go. And then here I'm just removing 2 screws that hold the hinge down, and those screws that hold the hinge down are actually going over the motherboard, so they need to be removed, and then you can open the laptop up a little bit like I'm doing right here, and then that moves that hinge up enough where I can get my fingers under there and just open the hinge. That has to be done to get the motherboard out. And now I'm going to remove the motherboard screws. And once those screws are out, you can remove the motherboard from the chassis. And here's the little jack on the corner that I'll be removing and replacing. You can see it's a soldered in 5 solder points jack, and it's a pretty small one. Alright, so now I'm on the bench here with the desoldering process, and I'm just adding some flux first. I like to add flux and solder to get everything moving in there. That really helps break up the solder and helps the desoldering process. So I'm just going to add some solder, get that solder flowing through the through hole, and just get everything heated up here. And now I take my desoldering braid, or some people call it a wick. It's just a little copper braid that's got some flux built into it, and that solder is going to suck up nicely into the braid. And I'm using a flathead style tip on my soldering iron because that really makes good contact with the through hole and helps get out the solder. It's really difficult to do the desoldering. When you first buy a soldering iron, they have that pointy, classic looking little tip, which is fine for regular soldering of like wires together or something like that. But when you have the desoldering that you need to be doing, that tip of the flathead is much easier because it just makes better contact with that through hole. So as you can see on that first one, most of the solder is removed. And then just repeat the process for each one of these points here. And I try to hit each of the through holes at every different angle to try to get that solder up. Sometimes the solder can be kind of pesky to get out of there. So try it from all angles. You know, it's kind of like a square, and you have 4 sides that you can remove it from. So and if you have a hole that you can't get the solder out of, just restart the process and add some more fresh solder and add some more flux and try it again. And see there, I was desoldering from the back angle, and now I flipped it over, and now I'm desoldering it from the other side. It just seems to help get that solder out of there. I'm sorry I got my thumb in the way there. It's difficult when you're trying to get that camera angle on all the different viewpoints. And now that I've got a bunch of the solder removed, I'm going to flip over the board and desolder from the other side. This is a good tactic too, to try to get all the solder out. Sometimes you can only get so much from one side, so if you flip over the board and try to remove some of those, or remove some of the solder from the other side, that's really helpful. And so now I'm just taking my pliers and I'm just checking how loose the jack is. Sometimes the jack will come out pretty easily, and sometimes you have to wiggle it a little bit. But you can visually inspect the jack and the through holes, and you can see that almost all the solder is gone. You're never going to truly get all of the solder out of there, so you kind of have to take a look at it, see that all the solder is gone, and then just do a little bit of wiggling. And if it doesn't come out really easily, then you know you need to keep desoldering. You shouldn't have to force it out much at all. It should come out pretty easily with some wiggling, and if it doesn't, then you need to keep desoldering and start the process over again. And so now I'm just going to check the jack again to see if it's those two front support pins were kind of giving me trouble. So now you can see it just wiggled out really nicely. There wasn't much force to remove that. And now I have the old broken jack off of the motherboard. And you can see this is a really small connection on these Acers. Just a very small pin that's kind of susceptible to damage. And now I'm just going to install the new one. It's a slightly different color, but it's just the plastic. It doesn't make any difference. And I like to put the edge of my pliers underneath there so I have something to keep it flush with the board. If you just stick the jack in, sometimes it can fall out or kind of shift itself down a little bit, which you don't want. You want it to be nice and snug in there when you're doing the soldering. So you can put something underneath it to keep it in place. And so first I'm just adding some solder to each one of the through holes. And when I'm doing that soldering, I can see that solder flow down into the hole. And you want to make sure you have a really good flow so that connection is good. And part of that is adding flux like I'm doing right here after you've added some solder. You can add the flux before too, it doesn't really matter, and you can be really liberal with this stuff because we're just going to clean it up with the 99% alcohol anyway. But adding that flux helps that solder flow down through that through hole, just so we have a nice solid connection. And this is all set to go now. Just doing a little bit extra to make sure it goes through that voltage pin. And so now I'm just going to take some of my 99% alcohol and just clean all the flux off the board. Get it shined up nice. And this thing's all set to go and ready for reassembly. And this is the finished product here. This is that Acer Aspire 5. It's now booting up properly. And as you can see, you get the charge light, the power light, and then that Windows icon of it charging up the battery. Thanks, guys.